Hey everyone, Aaron Stewart. Welcome to the Little Black Couch Show. Coming from a black, I don't know, driving, what is this thing called? Seat? I'm coming from a black leather seat. I've been grocery shopping. You can see lots of Diet Coke. That's for my lovely wife. Anyhow, so I am driving home. I've been at the office. And first of all, I just would like to say that Microsoft Word was created by the devil himself. So, hate it. And my sweet mother, who volunteers doing this stuff for the church, she's in charge of like the program every week, and she had this template, and so she sent it to me. She was having problems with it. It had ridiculous sort of hidden box and image things all over it, and I don't know, somebody, I don't know, 13 years ago made a template in Word, and anyway, I ended up just remaking the whole dang thing again. So yeah, hi Kurt, I am driving again, but two hands. It's a magnet, so it's like hands-free, and in Utah hands-free is legal, so whatever. Anyway, so I have had a long week. It's been a great week. We've got a lot done with the new automation stuff, Josu Post, as it will be called, coming up, and we're very excited about it. And if you'd like to get on the waiting list for it, I had the 10th complete automation complete today, and it was a live I did back called I'm Beat, which I thought was pretty ironic that I'm Beat was the 10th, which was kind of our goal. We wanted to get 10 complete ones without breaking. Didn't break, worked great, and so now we're just doing the back end so people can actually sign up and pay us money, so we can make them influencers in like 2 minutes, or you know, we might have to round up from that. But anyway, but it's a cool software. I'm happy that it's coming along. But as I was kind of working through this, I got asked a really interesting question this week from somebody that I work with, and the question was, what motivates you? I thought, you know, that's kind of a cool question. That's a good question. It's one that I think we think about a lot, but it's not one that I get asked very often. And so I sat there for a minute and thought about it, and it's not something that I think about very often either anymore. I used to think about it a lot, like why am I doing this? What's going on? Well, the story goes, at least for my life right now, the story goes that I'm gonna drive down by the railroad tracks. So I have this goal in my life to avoid all stoplights. So if I can get home without a stoplight, and so I'm always trying new little ways to get home, and I'm trying the railroad tracks today. And you know, in the light of day, that's okay. So anyway, so it was about probably 8 years ago. My wife has a birth defect in her ear, and so her eustachian tube doesn't close. As she got older, it just would stay open, which causes a lot of nausea, a lot of pain, it's awful. And so there was a specialist back in Boston, and so we started flying back and forth to Boston to try to get this fixed. And he was the only specialist in the country that dealt with this type of problem, and he was great. He was really great. Nobody else could help us, and so I think we were on like our 4th or 5th surgery with him, and I got sick. I got appendicitis, and it was like a week before we were going to leave for her, and so I got taken to the hospital. It was yada yada, you know, I almost died, blah blah blah. And they got it out, and then I asked them, am I going to be okay? And they're like, yeah, you know, you can fly to Austin, support your wife, that's totally fine. It's, you know, it's not a big procedure, don't worry about it. You almost, you know, you had a really big one, and you're lucky that you found us when you did, but it's not a big deal, go ahead and travel. And so I did. So I went with her, and we went there, and that first night, we went to Cheesecake Factory, which is heaven on earth for me, anyway, because that's, you know, what is it, Shirley's chocolate cake or whatever? Hello. But I just didn't feel very good, and when I don't feel good and don't want to eat at Cheesecake Factory, there's a big problem. Anyway, I just got progressively worse, felt nauseated, just kind of sick. And then my poor wife, she went in for her surgery, and there was some trouble there. They gave her some Demerol, which she's allergic to, so they almost killed her. And so it was kind of stressful, and it was at Mass Eye and Ear. So they're fine. It's kind of a dumpy place, but a lot of specialists, you know, from Harvard that work there. So anyway, so I I wasn't feeling well. She's now kind of recuperating, and we're supposed to leave in a couple days. And we usually like to take a couple days there so her ear can kind of heal, so the plane, it doesn't get hurt. It doesn't hurt her a lot on the plane. But I was getting sicker and sicker, and I'm like, honey, we got to go. So we loaded up and went a day early, and I could barely move. And JFK, we flew from Boston to JFK. I was like just walking like this. I couldn't move. My gut was just killing me. Carol said I was pasty white. Not that I'm not normally pasty white, but more pasty white than I normally am. And I felt crappy. And then all the turbulence all the way home was just killing me. My gut was just on fire. Well, when we landed, my sweet wife with her horrible ear and, having a hard time balancing, bless her heart, got the car, came and picked me up, and then drove like a bat out of Sunday school, as we like to say around here in Utah, to the hospital. So, it was masterful. She was unbelievable. It was awesome. So she gets me to the hospital. It's the same hospital that I had my appendicitis out. I walked in the emergency room, I passed out. I said I hurt, and then I passed out. Well, the surgeon who had done the surgery, he had forgotten to close me up after he'd removed my appendix. So I had been leaking my own sewage, my own special blend of sewage, into my into my abdomen, into my cavity there, and I had gone septic, is what they call it. So I had sepsis, and so it was not cool. It really hurt. It wasn't awesome, and that was it. They had to take my organs out, wash them out. I've got this really gross picture of some tubes that they had to stick in me that I had to leave the hospital with like suction cups on them, suction bubbles to suck all the poison out afterwards. And my wife was told to go ahead and make the sort of the final plan for my demise. I wasn't going to make it. My organs were all shutting down, and so I proved them wrong. No big deal. It's nothing that hospital pudding can't fix. And so anyway, they kind of nursed me back to health. I got out. But when I was in the hospital, there was this moment where I woke up and it was like 3 a.m. and I hurt so bad. Like if I moved at all, because everything was so raw inside me, I would just scream bloody murder. It just hurt so badly. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. I just want to die. And I thought, no, you can't think this way. You're positive, you're happy. This is okay. This too will pass. All the things that go through your head. And I do that, and then it would hurt again. I'd be like, no, I'm done. I just want to die. I'm over. This has gotten to a point where, so I pictured my wife. I pictured my kids. I pictured all that I had to live for. I tried to go through everything that I was thankful for. I tried to go through, and I was done. And there was nothing worth living for anymore. Which, I'd never been there before, where where nothing was worth living for anymore. But it was in that moment when I sat there in total despair, and I just prayed to God, and I said, hey, I can't take it anymore. I'm done. Can I just come home? And very clearly, it came back to me, sorry, you've got stuff to do. I need you there. And I didn't like the answer. It wasn't what I wanted to hear. It wasn't what I wanted to feel, but I knew that there was something for me to do. And so I switched my mindset and said, okay, it's time to fight. And I wouldn't let them give me any more pain pills. I just gutted it out and wanted to stay conscious and fight through it, and did, and got to a point where, they let me out. I had to leave with some hideous stuff. I looked like a cyborg, and but worked my way back through. And so when things get tough for me, and when work gets hard, work doesn't rarely get hard. I really enjoy learning, and I get an endorphin boost every time my brain figures something out. So when I'm learning, I am happy. I am so happy when I'm learning. But if there's times when I start wondering, like, you know, what this all for, I will always remember that you've got work to do. And that push, that motivation comes back, and you go back to work. So I think that every one of us somewhere in life has, when you're asking why do you do what you do and what keeps you motivated, it's good to go back and have something where you can kind of plant your flag and say, I've got work to do. There's something I'm called to do. There's something that I'm supposed to do. And it's so important that not even God himself would let me come home. And even in the pain I was in. And that's the deal. That's the point that gets you through. So find whatever that is. Find whatever that is. And never let go of it. So when things get tough and you start thinking about it, just know that there's stuff to do that's bigger than we all are. It's bigger than how bad we hurt. It's bigger than how tough it is. And it'll work out. It'll work out. So anyway, I hope you have a great Saturday. It's Saturday now, isn't it? Hope you have a great Saturday. I will see you Monday for sure on this very rare live to the Little Black Couch show from my phone, from the car, doing something that's apparently illegal where Kurt lives, but not here in Utah. See ya.